Okay, greetings and welcome to another Grenfell MediaWatch update. Today's edition I want to call Too Young to Die. Now, I don't know if you remember 27th of June, straight after the massacre, we were seeing stories about how the authorities in Germany were evacuating tower blocks to protect their citizens. 4 months later, that's in last week, we see in Australia governments passing legislation to actually ban the importation of flammable cladding. But in the UK we have a different story. Last week was the Conservative Party conference, and Jon Snow, Channel 4 news anchor, interviewed Theresa May. And what miserable May did there I found quite reprehensible. When he asked her questions about social housing, she quickly segued into a little spiel about Grenfell and used it as cover.
But what about the distress? What about the distress of those people living in social housing who know that only 2% of the tower blocks they live in have sprinklers? You said that you would provide sprinkling money, etc. The fact is 21 councils have applied for it, not got it. And we studied Nottingham last week. They've been begging for it but cannot get it and have been refused it.
What has happened after Grenfell Tower? Work was put in place immediately to look at the safety of tower blocks around the country. And we said we would work with local authorities on any adaptations, any changes they needed to make to ensure the safety of those tower blocks.
Not looking good on sprinklers.
There's a number of issues here that can improve the safety of tower blocks. So it's not just one answer that needs to be looked at. There may be a variety of ways in which we can help to ensure that security.
So when we look back at the aftermath of Grenfell and review what happened, one of the things that we noticed is that Philip Hammond, the Chancellor, made this big comment about sprinklers not being necessary. Last week, 4 months later, the government's position hasn't changed. Alok Sharma, the Housing Minister, he's actually continued saying that they're an additional feature, they're not a necessity. So what we can see is that the government's position on the well-being of those living in tower blocks has not changed, not really, despite all the fancy talk. Last week was a particularly challenging week for many. There were several funerals for young people, and spiritually that was a very hard burden to carry. I'm thinking, of course, Jessica, in Hackney, where I am now, Rashan Charles, the Hashim family, my friend John, a lot of young people.
I enjoyed it so much. It was an amazing trip, meeting Bill Gates, winning a Nando's voucher, and I want to thank everyone who contributed towards it.
Too young to die. I don't even know if I can talk about this. I won't talk about this. So some of you will probably know that I fast on a Friday, and it's a spiritual act, it just helps keep me focused. But I've got nothing on Jamil, who I think is on the 75th day of his fast of remembrance for the victims of Grenfell. And I just want big respect to what you're doing out there. There's also Ryan Bertrand, the footballer. Now, I don't know much about football, I'm not even going to pretend I do. But it's wonderful to hear of someone who's recognised that there's actually a need to do more than just chuck money at the problem. And he's made a commitment to get involved somehow. So well done, brother. We need more people like you.
I just wanted to see what else we could do. And when I went down to the estate just to ask questions and see how it was going and yeah, just to get a real feel for it and to see what I could do to add differences. And
I suspect that we're now reaching that time and when the media's going to start trying to wind down the coverage. So please, as the media slowdown takes place, do whatever you can to actually help amplify the voice of the survivors, of the victims. We need to shape the agenda. We need to know what justice looks like, and justice isn't just as simple as rehousing everybody. If the housing minister's going to go around the country in some kind of like pseudo consultation, then actually ask the right question. What does justice look like? Add that to your list of questionnaires. You know, sometimes I think we really need to take a sit down and think about what kind of world we want this to be. Because if we can't take care of our young, if we can't keep them safe at night when they're in their bed sleeping, if we allow those who are responsible for their deaths, their murders, to get away with these injustices, I don't know what we are. I still feel this pain. I still feel this anger. So right now, we're at that particular time when many of us are going to have to take the knee. We're going to have to make decisions whether we're standing in solidarity with Grenfell or we're standing in solidarity with the politicians that caused Grenfell. I mean, I know this Saturday the 14th is the silent march again, and some of you won't be able to make it. But there are going to be other months and other months. If you can't make this month, you can make another month. So as I said, this is me taking the knee. This is me standing in solidarity with all of those people who are facing injustice. And I want you to take the knee with me. May the ancestors continue to guide and protect us. Ashe.